Hey everyone, and welcome to Cold Outreach Success Stories, where we interview regular business people just like you who've had a lot of success with cold outreach on LinkedIn and other channels. We go deep into their process with hot tips around targeting, messaging, and personalization so that you can take away some tips to implement in your cold outreach starting tomorrow. Today, we have Ivan from openidea.biz. Welcome to the show, Ivan.
Hello, hi. Nice to be here.
Great. So let's get right into it. How do you find who your next ideal client would be? How do you figure out like this is the startup that I want to work with as my next client?
Okay, so basically our, sorry, I just got blocked. So I will start. Okay, one, two. Okay, so it's not very easy for us to find our ideal clients on cold outreach like we can do on LinkedIn, because it's really difficult to filter the real aspects that we need in an ideal client. So we have to start with just going very broad to talk to many startups and like just understand what they're doing, on what phase they are in, and so we just start talking to them, and then basically we filter them after maybe some messages we send, or like just to understand the phase they are going through. And then if we see there may be a good match for services, then we start to talk about what we can do for them. If not, we really just go with like a scouting spirit to meet new businesses, and it's really fun sometimes because you really find a lot of businesses or startups that are really interesting, even if they may be not a good match for us, but they're interesting to just get to know them.
Makes a ton of sense to me. I mean, for the kind of services that you're selling, it's always hard to know, right, who will be in market for that, right? Given the stage of the company is so, critical to finding out that they need
Yeah,
communication.
the stage, but also maybe some like very how do you say, very sensible details. For example, we work very much with founders that maybe are in a difficult moment, or maybe they have tried a lot of stuff and they haven't worked because they really don't have solid foundations. And so these are all informations that almost never they are willing to put public on LinkedIn or somewhere. So you really have to create a relationship with the person to understand, hey, are you in a difficult spot? We can help you. Because if not, especially in this social media era, many persons just show online the good things. They don't show when they are in a tough spot, and that's really makes it difficult to find for us our at the right target to which we can add value.
Right. Makes a ton of sense to me. All right. So let's get deeper into that relationship building aspect and the messaging aspect. So what kind of messaging you use to actually start a conversation with them, or get them to be a part of your network and start a conversation with you?
Well, it depends. For example, one thing we have tried a couple of things in the last year. Sometimes we focus on some tech events. For example, I went to a conference in Barcelona some months ago, and before going there, I started just to send messages to startuppers that were in Barcelona, or that I saw they were going to this event because they were already connected in my network, and things like that. And for example, in that case, just telling them we were going to be there too, and that if they just want to meet and talk a little bit, or just go to visit them, for example. And so that was one very simple strategy we use, because it's very immediate, because of course course, we passed all the conference just going from one meeting to another, but at least we could really look in the face these persons and go outside of the web and the monitors. But another time, for example, we just choose a city and we start messaging startups in that city, saying them, hi, how are you doing? So we saw you are a startup, and we were curious to know more about what you're doing. So like really genuinely trying to understand what they do, and then we take it from there, basically.
Interesting. So city-based, event-based messaging would be a good way to start a conversation, right?
Well, yeah, because it's very difficult, because also the answering rate changes a lot. If you are in a city or in an event, it's easier because the persons we understood have are happier to connect with you if they know there's some kind of chance they can actually meet you in person somehow. If you just, we, for example, tried some years ago just a messaging campaign in the United States, for example, but it was COVID time, so it was really impossible to go to the United States in that moment. And the response was really low, because they say, yeah, you're great and everything, but you're in Italy. Why we can't do business with you if you're not here? And instead, when we go in cities or event where we are actually going in person, then it's easier for persons to feel we want to create a real relationship and not just to sell them something.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. All right, so let's get deeper into the next aspect, which is mistakes. What are some of the mistakes that you did when you first started doing cold outreach?
Oh, a ton. We still do a ton of them.
That's great. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it when people come on the podcast and they're very candid about it. So I love it.
Yeah, it's no, it's really because it's a scientific method. You just go by error and see what works and what's not. Basically, I think the biggest one that we kept doing for quite a few times was just really to just start outreaching people, and really not expecting they will actually answer. And then so when they actually answered and connected with us and say, hey, nice to meet you, we didn't really have a plan to go forward. So we were like, okay, and now what do we do? And it was really that was because we had this campaign we started and sent it to 100 persons, and suddenly we had 60 of them answering, and we didn't really expect even one to answer. Instead, we got 60 persons answering, and we were like, okay, what do we tell them now? We don't want that just to be that guy that goes, hey, I contacted you to sell you this. No, we wanted really to create a relationship. So we had to really understand what that means, and it's not really easy, because the instinct always is, okay, I got a contact, let's sell, let's try to get a client. And instead, no, that's an error. You have to really create a relationship, basically, and in authenticity. And yes, it's really important. So that's, I think, the biggest mistake. Or the other thing is just directly to outreach, cold outreach persons, and just with a sales pitch. We tried that technique for a period, and it was interesting because on some level is a very honest thing to do. You just contact someone and tell them, hey, I'm selling this, do you need this? If yes, okay. If not, no problem, we'll just go on. But it's really, I don't know, it didn't feel good. Even if kind of worked sometimes, we didn't really like it to go that way. It was also because as more and more persons use LinkedIn to sell services and stuff, persons are getting tired of receiving just salesly messages, things like that. And so I think one must be also really respectful of not annoying the prospects, even if you don't know them.
Makes a ton of sense. Otherwise, you develop a bad reputation in the market also, right? Like you're somebody who is just continuously messaging people, right?
Yeah, it's at that point, of course, softwares like Sales Robot really help, but if you use them that way, they won't actually add a real value. They will just like make it more cost effective. But is that what you want to do for your business? Okay, we prefer to create more deep relationships.
100% agree. 100% agree. It's not actually the tool's problem, it's what you write in the message that matters, right? The tool will just
Exactly.
simplify what you're doing.
Exactly, because if I write a sales message and just say, okay, bot, go and send this to everyone, maybe even put in AI so it writes some variants of the same message. At the end of the day, you're just doing that. Instead, if you do something with purpose, with authenticity, and this is what we also help our clients do, that's really like understand why they're doing it, what they're doing, what value they bring to their clients and to their audience. So it's all that's simple. It's complicated actually, but it's really simple on some level.
No, I 100% agree. All right, on to my final question now. So, what are some of the things that you're excited about trying to improve your cold outreach process?
Well, one thing is that, for example, till now we have always tried thing like one or two automated messages, and then we go just like deep in on a more human level, like taking bots and things out of the picture. I would like to manage to keep the human touch, but making it more scalable using the technologies. So yeah, that's something is not really easy because before you can get to do that, you have to understand which of are the variables that are in place from one step to another of the funnel, and so it's really difficult to understand after a certain level. There are things that AI just can't manage yet. Maybe in some month it will, but yeah, I think that's the thing, try to standardize the process somehow but keeping it human. That's the sweet spot we're going for, and till we don't manage to understand what that is, we will keep going human basically, but yeah, we are really excited to work in that direction.
Awesome. That's an awesome answer, Ivan. That's all the time and the questions I have. Thank you so much for hopping
Okay.
on, Ivan. So for our listeners
Thank
today,
you very much for having us.
absolutely, absolutely. So for our listeners today who want to find out more about you, where can they find you online?
Well, they can find me on LinkedIn as Ivan Turatti, or just visit our website, openidea.biz. And we also have been getting out some nice tools lately. So if you are a startup or a founder that is going through an interesting period of its enterprise, just hit us and maybe we can add some value and support you in developing your communication foundations.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Ivan. Thank you for hopping on.
Thank you very much.
So that's all the time we have, folks. I really enjoyed the episode. I hope you did too. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever you can to spread the word out about cold outreach success stories so more people can enjoy and learn from the show. All right. That's all, folks. Bye bye.